Hello and welcome to Brodual. This time we're going to ask where are they now, and take a look at some of the older popular mods and the updates that they've received. As many of you know, even the most popular mods go through some pretty major changes, and these updates can happen years after their initial release. In this video we're going to give a very brief overview of the mods and then focus mainly on their updates. We're mostly going to assume that you either know what the mods are or that you've seen our previous spotlights on them if we made one. Jumping straight into it, we have Wearable Lanterns. This is the definitive lantern wearing mod out there. It lets you craft from a small collection of lanterns that you can then attach to your body or hold in your hand. It's more useful and there's more variety than a simple torch, and it's a fantastic mod if you're playing in a darker game. It's also considered to be one of the more realistic and immersive lantern mods, with the addition of oil for fuel, or catching torchbooks to use as a natural light source. Just recently, despite it being 4 years after its initial release, Chesko has essentially rebuilt the mod from the ground up. Using his more advanced experience and knowledge of modding, he's managed to vastly reduce the number of scripts required to run the mod, while also making things much more stable and responsive. The update put emphasis on the idea that the mod just needs to work 100% of the time, and it needs to work well, and from our testing it does just that. Certain features have also been streamlined, like lantern fuel capacity, and catching a torchbug is now just a simple one-click action. General changes include new oil and pollen meters in the UI, giving you quick and controllable insight into the fuel of your lanterns. Every NPC in the game can also use them, including all of your followers in a multi-follower mod. They'll use them at appropriate times of day and in dark locations, and they'll turn them off while sneaking. Another big change is the emphasis on control and options. The lantern will now only take up one slot, and you get to choose which one in the mod menu. You now also have the ability to turn the lantern off while sneaking, as well as the hold hotkey to toggle option, which also opens up full controller support. These extra features not only make it easier to use, but they also help with compatibility. Speaking of which, if you're using the campfire mod, then the natural lanterns have also been integrated into its survival crafting system. So all in all, if you ever thought Wearable Lanterns was too buggy or slow to respond, or maybe had some compatibility issues, we highly recommend you revisit this fantastic mod. Next up we have the Immersive Sounds Compendium. This is an audio overhaul that focused on variety. In vanilla you'd hear the same generic sounds being used for actions that would realistically create a completely different noise, like swinging a sword versus swinging a warhammer, or when walking or running on all of the different surfaces in the game. Just last week we saw the release of 2.0 and with it came over 1000 new sound effects. Blocking and parrying for all weapon types and against all weapons and shields have been overhauled. So now, depending on the weapon you're using and the shield or weapon you hit, you'll now produce entirely different sound effects. Bashing sounds have also been through similar changes. On top of that, destruction spells have been overhauled to offer even more diversity through the different levels of magic. More powerful magic will have more impressive sounds that are entirely unique to them. There's also new effects when firing magical projectiles. Hitting flesh with a fire spell will produce a sizzling noise as their skin melts, whereas hitting a metal object will produce a metallic clang. Footsteps have also been further diversified for more creatures and particularly horses. Depending on the surface and the speed of the horse, different sounds can be heard. The latest update also made the sounds more responsive than ever, so it really helps bring the world to life. The mod goes above and beyond what it originally set out to do and is one of our favourite mods of Skyrim. And finally we have Atlas map markers. This is a mod that adds hundreds of new mapped locations to the game. From points of interest to new locations to explore, the mod is a handy companion for getting the most out of your 300th playthrough of Skyrim. Last month we saw a significant update that focuses almost entirely on configuration. The update brings a mod menu that lets you very quickly and easily edit which map markers are visible on the world map. The original mod was great, but it certainly made your map look messy. In the menu you can even turn off vanilla map markers and adjust your compass settings, so there's a lot to play around with to get the mod to suit you. And finally, the update also brought some minor fixes and extra compatibility with recent mods, so it's definitely worth taking another look at Atlas map markers. And just before we wrap up, we'd like to thank the Opinion Outpost for sponsoring another one of our mod spotlights. The Opinion Outpost is a site that lets you collect rewards such as Amazon gift cards. And all you need to do in return is fill out some surveys on topics you know, like gaming, movies or politics. You have to be over 18 to enter, be ready to give your opinion, and then you can start cashing in for one of several rewards. If you're interested in giving it a go, click the link in the description down below. And as always, be sure to leave me endorsements on any mods you enjoy. Also, if you know any older mods that have received significant updates, then be sure to let us know down below. And thanks for watching.